So let's take this opportunity now for anybody who has questions for Sir Richard.
I was just wondering if Virgin could maybe consider sponsoring the first Egyptian ever to go to space on board the Virgin Atlantic. I mean Virgin Galactic. In that case, I would definitely be willing to volunteer.
I think he'd like to be the first Egyptian on Virgin Galactic.
If we haven't signed anybody else up, we'd love to have you. So I can't really give away free tickets tonight, but
Sir Richard, I would love to hear your thoughts for all of the business leaders here about how they can rightly envision the principles that might guide successful entrepreneurship and enterprise here in a way that also restores right relations between humanity and the earth.
Every business uses up a lot of Earth's resources, and as a start, I think that businesses should start putting it on their balance sheet, so you can actually start working out your debit and your credit side, and so you actually know how much of the Earth's resources you're using up. There's a wonderful organization in Germany that, help me Gene, what's that? Puma, that are leading the way on that, and they're working with us to try to set up another organization called the B Team, which is going to go out and try to educate companies into trying to do this. We just got to try to make the world sustainable. I was in Haiti a week ago where all the forest has gone, which means that when you have hurricanes, it causes absolute devastation. And actually I was there with Mohammed Yunus, who's a wonderful inspiration to the world, who's trying to go around the world to set up social businesses. Social businesses, the difference between a social business and a normal business is that instead of having shareholders, the profits of the business get put back into the business and the business grows. People can take salaries out. The people who invested originally are allowed to take their money back, but it's a business which is there just to try to grow and do good. And we've agreed with him to set up a virgin forest in Haiti to try to replenish the forest there. So I think that just if we can just get every business person and every company just to play their part on the list of things that they've got to achieve, try to address the environmental side as well, then hopefully we can start redressing the balance a bit.
Hi, sir. A huge fan.
This is Dr. Bassem Youssef, who is like the Jon Stewart of Egypt.
No. Oh, sir, huge fan. I know everybody is asking about economy and education and environment and books, but I actually have a very simple question. The first time I ever saw you, it was on a reality TV show.
Come and sit here.
No. That's your. No. It's a spotlight now. So, anyways, I just said I started reading about you, and I said, wow, this guy is so cool. And then I saw a rerun of Friends, and I saw you in one of the episodes. London Baby. So it's a very simple question. How did you make it to the Friends episode? That's it. How did you do? Did you pay money? Did they choose you? That's my question. It's very simple. Big fan, sir. Big fan.
It's funny because I was walking down the street in New York the week after the first Friends episode had gone out, and a little kid was walking by me, and he pointed at me and said to his mum, "That's the guy from Friends." Anyway, now I've been very lucky because anyone who says, would I like to do a tiny little cameo role? I was in a Bond film recently, that was fun. So you have to watch the film about 20 times before you see me. But anyway, my name's Branson, Sir Richard, Sir Richard Branson. Anyway, I've been practicing the Bond thing. Anyway, but no, it's little cameo roles. I look forward to seeing you on television. Thank you.
My question is that you have invested in a wide array of industries in different places and different regions around the world. What is the criteria that you start thinking about in the different industries that you invest in, and that would be an okay industry in a right region for you to invest?
We don't sort of sit back and think, how can we make a lot of money by going into an industry? If we feel that an industry is tarred and fat and complacent and not offering the consumer a very good deal, then we'll think, let's go and do it a lot better. In the UK, the rail network 15 years ago was run by government. It was dilapidated. It was broken, it was run down. Let's see if we can fix it. And we took a chunk of it. We did fix it, and the number of people traveling on the rail network have gone from 8 million to 34 million people. And it's been very successful, and people like traveling on the rail now rather than going on the roads. And that's obviously good for the environment as well. So keeping your eyes open all the time, and I mean obviously something like that's what you do later on in your life, but I mean just looking for situations which are broken or partly broken, and they can be very small situations when you start off in business, and then trying to fix them. Fix one business and you can then see something else that's broken and you feel you can do it better, then move on and do something else. If you keep your eyes open, you'll find in Egypt that there are a lot of things that are broken and a lot of things that need fixing. And particularly if you travel around the world, you'll see that people are doing it better here or better there. A person who went to America from Britain a few years back and saw Starbucks on the street and said, that looks good, I'll bring that to England. They've done all right. You don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. I mean, just keeping your eyes open, you'll often find great ideas all the time.
How can one start a business that targets lower socioeconomic classes in an attempt of raising their intellectual and cultural levels?
I would suggest that somebody in this audience should try to start getting a number of microcredit organizations going. I mean, I'll just tell you one story. I was in South Africa. We have a game reserve. We had a dinner with a number of elders from the village. One of the women who was sitting next to me was beautifully dressed and quietly said to me, look, if I could get $200, I would be able to buy a sewing machine. If I could buy a sewing machine, I could make enough money to pay you that $200 back within 3 months. And I think I could employ some people. And I don't normally carry money, but I had some money and I slipped to the $200, thought that would be the last time I saw it. 3 or 4 months later, I was in a village back in Africa, and these 4 beautifully dressed women came up to me. They gave me this beautiful garment, which they put over my head. They slipped the $200 plus interest back into my hand. I hadn't actually asked for any interest. And I asked where she was, and I was told that she was down at the market selling the goods, and that these 4 people had all been employed by her. $200 had been repaid within 3 or 4 months. It had employed 5 people. She had a business. That's where Mohammed Yunus started it in Bangladesh. Ella Bhatt, who President Carter was talking about earlier, 2 million women in India. She sorts out their banking, their pensions, their insurance, and so on. And because it's women, I mean, there's nothing against men, but on microcredit, the good thing about doing it with women is, women have their children to look after. They're going to try to make sure they don't keep it productive. There will come a stage, I think, where men are going to start saying, why is it always the women that get the microcredit? But anyway, you've got to start somewhere. If I was you, if it's somewhere in this room, I think it's an area to look at. And in fact, if anybody's interested in looking at it, maybe we should try to help a bit on that. But it definitely would be a wonderful thing to do for Egypt, I think.
Do you mind sharing with us a failure business story?
The biggest failure we had was we decided to try to knock Coca-Cola into number 2 position. We had a few months where everybody was buying Virgin Cola in the UK, and we really thought that Virgin was going to become the biggest brand in the world. But we woke up a giant and sent aeroplanefuls of squat teams and money to the UK, and suddenly all our soft drink disappeared from the shelves. And I think the lesson we learned from that was, if you're going to do something, you've got to be better than the other people. I mean, we were as good, we had a good brand, but we didn't have any edge to beat them with. When we took on British Airways, they also went to extraordinary lengths to put us out of business. But because we were better than them, they didn't succeed. Try to be, whatever you do, be a little bit better than whoever it is you're competing with. And on that note, I just want to say thank you and say thanks very much for your generosity, for your time.